Hi everybody, it's Friday, May 14th, and today the new Ram Paul McCartney Vinyl Half Speed Master has come out. I've got it here. I'm going to show you exactly what's in it. I've also done a bit of a listen where I'm going to talk about my initial thoughts on the sound of it, and I'm also going to show you how this compares to the other vinyl version that I've got, which is the 2017 vinyl reissue, the one that was based on the Archive Collection Remaster. Just look at how it differs to that. So yes, here we go. It is the regular cover that we all know of Ram with this same as from last year with the McCartney Half Speed reissue, which I loved the sound of. It's got this this strip here that's that just shows that it's part of the Half Speed mastering campaign. That seems to be a thing now that Paul's doing. So I'll show you that. There's the spine of that, and there's the other side where it's got some information on there about this particular mastering. So it says, this was pressed from a master cut using a precision technique known as half speed mastering. The procedure requires the source master and the cutting lathe to run at half speed on a specially adapted Neumann VMS 80 lathe. So for anybody who wants a bit of technical information there, originally released in May 1971, this of course is now exactly 50 years later. This edition was cut by Miles Scholl at half speed using original 1971 master tapes at Abbey Road Studios on the 9th of December 2020. So Miles Scholl did the Flaming Pie half speed vinyl last year. He also did the McCartney. He's worked on Beatles projects, so he is somebody who very much knows what he's doing. So yeah, that's the strip on there. It's the same back cover that we normally know, but there is a difference to the 2017 version where that's got a load of credits at the bottom there. This is blank. Okay. This cover is not as glossy as the 2017. They did a similar thing last year with McCartney. The Half Speed Remaster wasn't as glossy as the Archive Collection version. I also felt that, I think this new one, I think it's a little bit deeper on the colours. Maybe they've increased the contrast of the picture. If we compare the gatefold, there's very, very little difference here on the gatefold. That's the 2017 issue. This is the new one, and the only difference that I see is that it's got a 2021 MPL Communications credit there. Other than that, it's identical. So let's show you what's inside here. There is a card, same as there was in McCartney last year, that's just got some information about the half-speed pressing. So I'll get you a close-up of that. Hope you can see that okay. And what there isn't in here, just to show you, compared to the previous, most recent versions, which came with this lyric sheet, that's not in the new master. So if you're wanting that, that's not there, but I'm not fussed about that. We've then got the sleeve itself, continuing the Paul McCartney tradition of not using great sleeves, ones that the record might stick to. But I can easily change that for a better sleeve. But what the great news is that we're back on an Apple label. Get you a close-up of that. That's side A and side B. There you go. So when I played this earlier and I had this spinning on my player, I was really glad to see the Apple logo turning, because that's always a nice thing to have. So that's what it looks like. It also came in, and I'm just going to show you this. This is the plastic sleeve that it came in, and I've never had this happen before, but the sort of adhesive strip has already kind of come off and gone weird. So I'm not going to be reusing that. I'm going to put this in its own sleeve. So that was a bit odd. But anyway, in terms of how it looks great. There you go. How did it sound? Well, I've made some notes, as I often do. Got them typed out on my phone, because I had a listen a little earlier. And like I say, the one last year, the McCartney, I loved. I thought that was a great reissue. I thought it was the best sounding version that I've got. So how about this one? How does this compare? So first thing I noticed, when I dropped the needle on the record, really quiet. So that was good. There was no sort of pops or anything. That sounded really nice. So, right from the start, Too Many People, there was a depth there, there was a smoothness of bass. This is what I often tell I can find with these half-speed reissues, is like a smoothness of bass. That was definitely there. It was almost sort of so smooth and good that I could hear that it's a slightly different rhythm of bass playing than I've always thought. And I likened it a little to when the White Album remix came out in 2018. On Obla Di Obla Da, I could hear that it was like a double bass. And I'd never really noticed so much that it was like a double thing he was playing. It's not as noticeable on here, but I do find that he's playing a slightly different pattern to what I've ever noticed before. And maybe that's because the bass notes have been able to come out much more smoothly in this Half Speed Master. So that was interesting to know. I'm not going to comment on all the songs, but the main things that I picked out, Ram On, the clarity was great there. The moment when the bass and the drums kick in, although it's not a great crash or anything, it's all sort of done very gently as per the song, but that sounded beautiful when that all came in. That was really nice. Dear Boy, the biggest production number, I think, on the album. So there was a fantastic soundstage there, great separation between every sort of element in the mix, which was really nice. And the clarity of the vocals was absolutely spot on, better than any version I've ever heard, without a doubt. Heart of the Country, again, it's that smoothness of bass that I noticed. And it was kind of so smooth that I've only really noticed that before, to that level, with the high-res digital version. That's usually what I listen to more often than any other version, and that was really nice. Monkberry Moon Delight. Now, sometimes on, for example, my earlier vinyl version, I sometimes find that everything on there can just be a little bit trebly, but I found that this wasn't so much so. I don't know whether they've done something with the EQ or not, but that was a really nice sort of balanced sound to that, and it wasn't harsh treble like sometimes I find that song can have, so that was really nice. Eat at Home, I specifically wanted to listen to towards the back end of the song, there's like a country guitar picking sound on there that's really, really nice bit of guitar playing, and again that came through lovely, probably more so than in my previous vinyl version. That had a real sort of its own place in the soundstage. That was really nice. Backseat of My Car, again, the smoothness of bass I picked up on. Now, there's always, to my ears, there's always been a bit of a harshness of trebly vocal in there, and I felt that it was still here. Now, maybe that's baked in, maybe that's, let's call it a feature of the album rather than a problem here, but there's always been that little bit of trebliness to the vocal I've found. That's still there, but maybe that's always going to be there. And I put it I put it right to the end. I made sure I listened right at the end, when the drums kick back in at the end of Backseat of My Car. And again, right through to the end, it sounded really nice, even as it got close to the run-out groove. And as it ran out, it was a really quiet piece of vinyl. I wasn't getting any pops or clicks or anything. So that was really nice. So overall, in terms of the quietness of it as a piece of vinyl, spot on. In terms of the sound, I need to do more in terms of going back to my first vinyl version and comparing it to this, but my initial impressions were I thought it sounded really, really nice, as I say last year with the McCartney reissue. So I am loving these Half Speed Masters. I did do a video on what is Half Speed Mastering. If anybody's still not sure, I'll put a link at the end to that video if you want to have a look at that. Just explains a bit more about what they do to make these. I'm hoping that this is a series that they continue. It'll be interesting to see whether we get Wildlife at the back end of this year for its 50th anniversary, because it's still relatively close to when we got the Archive collection. It'll only be, I think, 3 years since the Archive collection came out at Christmas. So will they want to do another reissue? I hope they will, personally, because I think they're making definite improvements to the sound of these albums. And that's not by changing it in any way. It's not by adding things that weren't there or remixing it. It's merely bringing out better, I think, what was always there in the first place. So there you go. That is Paul McCartney Ram Half Speed Master new vinyl. It's available to buy from various places, so if you check online your normal stockists, I've not seen it on Amazon, so maybe it's a good chance to support your independent record store. Let me know what you think if you've got this. I would love to hear from you as always. And check out my other video that I did today, the Ram on Tribute album, where I've also shown what's in that and done a first review of that as well. But as always, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Ram on!